EmceeTV.
What's good? It's your boy, that motherfucker Steve.
And your boy RJ.
We up in here in the light room, and you watching EmceeTV, the podcast.
In your face, baby.
How you been?
Another day, another dollar, man. You know how it go.
All right, all
Another
right.
day, man.
Everything good though?
Good, man. Bands popping, music going good, networking going good. You know, just building for the future, man. You know.
That's what's up. I was kind of productive last couple of days. I caught up with Ty Ferris
Yep.
and Marv One, and I still got to shoot an email out to Fat Father and catch up with him. But yeah, getting the building blocks going for that trip to Detroit, and just kind of
We going to
Detroit. Bouncing ideas off of them and trying to figure out exactly where we're gonna film and whatnot, and getting it all put together. But it seems to be rolling cool. Everything's falling into place.
Now, don't be doing it like you did when you went to Jersey, have us in the traps. You know what I'm saying?
We did end up in Newark
I wasn't there, but hey.
late, but yeah, man, it'll be cool. We'll be all right. I'm feeling good. This one's planned out pretty well. I mean, we're gonna be on the east side of Detroit. It's gonna be
like George and Wheezy moving on up
yeah.
to the east side.
I ain't never been to Detroit, but I heard the east side of Detroit is where it goes down. So, we'll see.
I think all of Detroit, it goes down.
Right? They kind of known for that.
Hell yeah.
We'll be cool though.
But we better go have a good time. Detroit, here we come, baby.
Amen. Yeah, man. But aside from that, just kicking it, man. Just building, planning. Yeah, I feel like everything's looking pretty good.
Smooth, man. Everything's been going smooth. But what? We on episode what?
This will be six. Six, yeah.
You know, everything's getting better. We tightening it up. You know what I'm saying? Everything's getting good, you know?
You said tightening it up. I felt like I need to tighten it up.
I'm not.
Strike my
See,
pose
I've
so I
been-
look good. Brush
been-
my shoulders off.
I've been eating this African stew. Woo!
Does that tighten you up, or does that make you?
Oh, it tightens me up.
Oh, okay. Maybe I need a cup of it.
You ain't African. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
I need to work on that. All right.
You stupid.
Speaking of food, so Snoop Dogg apparently ordered some, I think it was Grubhub. That was a Grubhub? Uber Eats. It was Uber
Right.
Eats. And I guess the shit was taking forever to arrive. And so I guess there's a video on Instagram, but apparently he messaged the driver. You can contact him just like with your Lyft driver or
Yeah.
whatever. You can be like, yo, where you at? I'm here. You know what I mean? I can't see you or whatever. And so he messaged him. It's all like masked phone numbers and stuff, voice over, IP and whatnot. But he messaged him and was like, yo, leave the food at the gate or whatever. And apparently dude was like, you're in a bad spot or you're not, it's not a safe spot. And Snoop was like, huh? And
Trying
he was
to say where Snoop live is not a safe spot?
well, so it's kind of unclear whether it was Snoop's house or he was just at a different location and he was trying to get some food delivered to him. But he had paid for the food. They charged his credit card or whatever. And he was waiting for his meal to deliver. And the dude was like, they went back and forth. I don't know exactly what the text was, but it essentially they said it's not a safe spot. And there was a little bit of interpretation whether they wanted him to leave the food in a spot and it wasn't a safe spot for the food to be left there. Like somebody could take it, porch, what they call them, porch pirates or whatever, where people are stealing shit off your porch.
They've been doing that for years, though.
Right. So it's unclear whether the guy was like, I don't think it's a safe spot to leave your food there, or whether he was saying it's a bad neighborhood, I'm not coming there to bring you your food. But either way, Snoop was like, I'm done. I ain't messing with Uber no more. And so he said, what's the other one that he was messing with? He said,
But did it affect Uber?
oh, well, I take it back.
Uber Eats.
Uber Eats, yeah. He said he's messing with somebody new. So, but
who, though?
he tagged him in it, and Snoop had 65,000 or 65 million
What?
followers
On what?
Instagram, and
Right.
so I mean that's a big statement. You know what I mean?
Did
That resonates.
anything change, though?
I mean, this just happened, so I don't know exactly what happened, but in terms of policy changes or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's an active situation. We'll let you know how it goes.
I mean, but for one, Snoop Dogg should have his shit brought to him. You know what I'm saying? What we call Uber Eats, you should have a chauffeur. You should have that shit delivered in a limo, in a clown suit. I would.
I mean, he could probably send one of the little homies. What was Puffy was sending folks for cheesecake?
Cheesecake. Go
Snoop,
give me a slice of cheesecake right now.
Snoop probably could have
Right
sent
now.
one of the little homies to go get his food.
You know what I'm saying? Like training camp. You know what I'm saying?
You know.
Training camp. Just welcome to the jungle.
You know,
Go give me some cheesecake right now.
You want to earn your stripes to run with us? You gotta run.
I mean,
you know,
I'd rather do that than call. I call. Was it DoorDash or Uber Eats? One of them they left it. Look, left it on the front stair.
Here?
Yeah, didn't even call me. Didn't even say nothing. And then I hit him up like, "Where's my food?" They was like, "He dropped it off like 30 minutes ago." Went and got my shit. Man, that shit was cold. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
"Oh, hold on. Go get my cheese." I'm just kidding.
It gets a
I
little.
should've did that.
It gets a little weird with that, right? Because now you're worried. You're like messing with the integrity of the food. Like, if something sits down there too long, somebody could get sick.
But they don't care.
You gotta. I mean, ideally they do, right?
They don't, because they're not like Expo and nothing like that. No restaurant.
Right.
You know
That's what I'm talking about, right?
You know what I'm saying? If the DoorDash was doing Expo like at the restaurant, they
Right.
would be like, no, we don't want it to get cold. But they're like, look, I got my money.
Peace out, Girl Scout.
Bye, Snoop.
Yeah. Well, and it sounds like it was wherever they were delivering, it was a gated community or something, because they said leave it at the gate. But I don't know. Sounds like it got messy, and Snoop switching up. So
I don't know, Snoop. You should have someone getting your cheesecake for you, dog. Just like Diddy. I would. If I had a Snoop, D-O-double, just a G, I'd be like, go get my cheesecake.
I mean, Ralph's would probably sponsor him,
For real.
and they probably just send somebody on the quickness. You know,
You know what? He probably trying to get his own joint.
maybe. Snoop's longevity and his track record for being a pioneer is out there.
It's
so
out there.
he might have a couple of
You know, so this might be like his little Uber Eats sex tape type shit to get attention to some new shit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, but I think, there's something don't sound right about
He gonna call it Snoop Eats.
it. Doggy dog.
Ooh, doggy delivery.
Doggy, what? Doggy dog pound delivery or something. I don't know. Something like that.
Right. On top of that, so who's in the Super Bowl now? We got it whittled down to the Rams against the Bengals.
Man, the Bengals. The
The
Rams
Bengals
and
beat
Bengals?
the Bengals beat the Chiefs, and the Rams beat the Niners. So it's the Rams against the Bengals, which somebody told me the other day. I was bartending. Somebody told me the other day it's a repeat of like the '86 Super Bowl. Now I was around, but I don't
The Rams and
remember.
who?
Bengals, Cincinnati.
Oh, that was that Icky Woods Bengals.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you, bro.
Yeah, you can.
But my point to that was Snoop, Dre, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick, Eminem. We've talked about this a couple times. That is the halftime show brought to you by Rock Nation and Pepsi at the SoFi Stadium in LA or in Southern California.
Yeah. It seems like more people are following sports. Like, for real.
Oh no, I'm just excited that they're having a football game during a concert. I'm going for the concert, baby.
So wait, so you trying to say they making like a full blown concert? Everyone has been. What?
So I watched the show, little trailer that Snoop and Dre were doing to hype it up. I think it might have been produced by Pepsi or whatever, and they said it's 11 minutes. Is all they get. The whole entire performance. They get 11 minutes. So they got to figure out a mashup between Snoop, Dre, Mary J., Kendrick, and M for 11 minutes. And you got to wow everybody, right? So you got to do like snippets, I'd guess, right? You get
Yeah, something like that.
you get 2 minutes, I get 2 minutes.
Wait, how many? Snoop, Mary, M, Kendrick.
And Dre.
11 minutes, so that's 2 minutes each?
2 and change, yeah. So, you're really just getting, what do you get? 4 15-second, that's a whole minute right there. So you get 8 15-second snippets of your songs, or
But you know what, it makes sense, though, because in my band, you know what I'm saying, like, I've been putting together medleys. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to hit them with one song and then hit them with another song because their attention span. You know what I'm saying? It ain't there.
You're saying don't do the whole song.
No,
You can't do Stairway to Heaven because 7 minutes they're gonna be lost.
Gone. You know what I'm saying? They gonna get on their phone, something, or play Candy Crush or whatever it is.
Right.
They ain't got that, so it kind of makes sense the way they marketing music. So
You gotta keep them entertained. You gotta keep them on the hook.
switch it up.
I got you.
So it makes sense now I think about it.
I mean, for a performance state, that's a big 11 minutes because you got to figure it out.
That's a big stage. You
Right.
Know what I'm saying? So if you ain't coming with the modern day marketing and push,
Right.
like, so kudos to them. I give it.
Yeah. When they were talking, I mean, Dre, I believe, has 6 Grammys, and he's got all these different accolades, the Apple deal. Snoop's a pioneer as well. Came up under Dre, did all these things. Eminem, same category, pioneer. He's in the Guinness Book of World Records. Did all these things.
Eminem?
Mm-hmm.
Fat for what?
Fastest rap, most words in a song.
Oh, I ain't gonna get on that.
I mean, I don't know. They measured it either way. I didn't say it. I'm just saying that's what the Guinness
We'll
Book of
say
World.
that for episode 7.
Well, they just said that in the Guinness Book of World Records. You take that up with Guinness. Only Guinness I know is the one you drink.
You stupid.
But back to my point. Each one of them got their own accolades, right? Yeah, these are all talented, and I miss Mary J and Kendrick. Both of them, all very, very talented people. But none of them have performed at a Super Bowl before. So this is another notch on their belt. You know what I mean? This is another. I mean, hip hop at the Super Bowl in general is kind of a new thing, right?
Oh, hip hop new at the Super Bowl? I mean, Janet showed a titty. That's hip hop.
Nah,
You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
That's
hip hop.
Everybody likes titties. Yeah, they ain't got to be hip hop to be titties.
Is it the first? I don't think
So
it's the first.
I
though.
remember.
I don't think it's the first.
I'm saying it's one of the first. I don't know that it's the very first. And both of them did credit Jay-Z for this, because Jay-Z's Rock Nation is the one that put it all together.
Okay.
The talent agency is the one that was able to lace this all up and bring it together.
Jay-Z, boy.
Another pioneer back in the game. But back to my point, what I was saying was that I mean, this is groundbreaking for their careers, whether it's a first for hip hop in general or not, because I do believe Big Boy from Outkast came out, and I don't know that he performed at a Super Bowl, but he did do a halftime show that was pretty big in Atlanta a couple years ago, within like the last 5 years. I want to say that it may have been.
I kind of remember that.
Yeah.
I do.
He came out with somebody else, and they performed. Were the Falcons in the Super Bowl, or did they play a Super Bowl at the Falcons Stadium?
Man, something like that, man. Because I remember. I like the way you move.
Yeah.
I remember all the bands, and Beyonce did her thing too, stomping around with fire and all that.
Was she there too?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she did a big, I think, with Bruno Mars.
At
Was
that
it?
same, I don't know, but I do remember Big Boy from Outkast. Shout out to Big Boy. He just had a birthday the other day, February 1st.
Icon in
Outcast,
the game.
pioneers in the game. Southern Playlist of Cadillac Funky Music. I had the cassette tape that goes way
Funky
back.
music. So play as if you choose it. You
Gotta make sure you're gonna use it.
You're gonna get you.
Ah.
That was my jam.
Oh, bro, I love that shit. That shit went hard as hell.
Yeah, man, it okay to smoke weed?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
That was hard. So shout out to Big Boy. Happy birthday, my guy. Big ups to him. I mean, that's just a beautiful thing for him to celebrate another year. And just, I mean, Outkast pioneers right there.
I mean, they've been doing the
Legendary.
game. They created a market in the game. You know what I'm saying? They put the South on the spotlight. They put the South on spotlight. I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody say. They put the South on spotlight.
I mean, they were on before.
Everybody.
I think Timbaland and Magoo might have been.
They ain't from the South. They from Virginia.
Not from they're from Georgia.
Georgia. I'm telling you, they from Virginia. Missy Elliott, Magoo, Timbaland. They from Virginia.
His beat club is in Florida, but I'm pretty sure he's from Georgia.
Who?
Timbaland.
Who?
Timberland.
From?
Oh no,
Maybe.
Outkast is for sure.
Oh yeah, I know they from East Point,
Timberland was the one, the producer who was the one who was talking.
Virginia. Put money on it.
Shout out to Brian. Appreciate
What's
Brian
up,
doing
man?
the fact checking real quick tonight.
Appreciate that.
Kofi ain't in the building, so we got Brian doing the fact checking.
Right in the house.
Did you say we was putting money on this?
Yeah,
How much money?
20.
Whoa, reel it back.
I think Andre from Outkast is overrated or underrated by far.
Man, we don't care about that.
Virginia Timberland.
Told you. Wow, give me my money.
Shit, we didn't say 20.
I did. You asked. I said it's on camera, right?
Yeah, there wasn't no handshake.
Don't need one. We got everyone else.
Get the fuck out of here. Anyway, all right, I got you.
Bruise on you the next time, Steve.
Yeah, that's true. I'll get you an NA beer,
It's
bro.
all good. Oh no.
Matter of fact, I'll get you 2 NA
Nope.
beers.
I'm a 7.
Hit the shotgun them motherfuckers to try and catch a bus.
Nope.
Did you say some NA?
All you gonna do is break my seal.
All right, so
Anyway, hold on.
Cranberry and vodka.
Hold on, man. We be telling people that.
So, in other hip hop news, Alchemist, the producer, credits going back to, going way back. He worked with MOP, Mobb Deep.
Did you say MOP or MOB?
Mobb Deep. I think he worked with MOP too. He definitely worked with Action Bronson.
Mm-hmm.
He produced a track on that new Eminem album, I believe, as well. Anyways, he got mad. I mean, he worked with him and Evidence, did a couple albums. He dropped 8 albums last year.
Alchemist has been around for a long
He's been in the mix for a long minute.
time, and
Yeah.
people don't even really know his name. There's a movie called Alchemist, and I think people get that shit confused.
Yeah. I think he definitely, he carved his lane. And interesting fact, you ever seen the show Hawaii Five-0?
The new one or the
Yeah,
old one?
no, the new one.
Nope.
Okay, so the new one is, oh damn, I can't think of the dude's name. It's basically the 2 cops, right? One of them is Alex O'Hannessy or whatever. He's a dude from Ireland. The other one is Scott Conn. Scott Conn is the son of James Conn, who was a pretty big
familiar.
actor.
Yeah,
Him
yeah,
and
yeah.
Either way, his dad was a big actor. Still for, pretty prominent. Anyways, Scott Conn and Alchemist were in a hip hop group out in L.A. in like the late '90s, early 2000s,
Really?
as the Young Hooligans. Yeah.
Young Hooligans. Now that rings a bell.
They did some big shows and stuff. I don't think they dropped a tremendous amount of music, but interesting little tidbit. You know what I mean? Like I kind of like the Hawaii Five-0 show. It's cool. It's entertaining. The colors are real vibrant because they're on an island, and we definitely landlocked as fuck, so it doesn't bother
They
me to
stole
watch.
the name. That's why I was like,
Oh no,
man,
it's a remake. They didn't steal it.
everything a remake.
What? All them dudes are getting money off of it. The
I
original
know.
creator. So I'm sure he's.
1991 to 94 is years active for that hooligan.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
But yeah, so 91 to 94 for the Young Hooligans. But yeah, they're definitely Alchemist has earned his spot. But yeah, I don't know who exactly they consulted, but Complex Magazine crowned him producer of the
Don't say no damn decade.
producer of the
Year?
world for 2021. Producer of the world for 2021.
How do you
I-
get that?
I
How you get producer of the world?
I don't know how you get producer of the world for 2021 because it sounds like it's,
Who was a producer of the world for 2020?
I don't know, and it sounds like
You know
it's
what
an
I'm saying?
all-encompassing. It sounds like it's an all-encompassing track the deal that just keeps going.
Yeah.
So it makes it difficult to go back and forth. But yeah, you know what I mean. Best producer. Oh no, they named him best producer alive for 2021.
Who did? What's the name of this? What's the
Alchemist.
name?
Alchemist.
No, the name of the magazine.
Oh, Complex. Complex is huge.
And they gave it Alchemist Producer of the World.
I misspoke on that. Best producer alive.
I don't know. I don't know what's bigger, producer alive or producer of the world. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, which one's better?
Yeah. but he got crowned. It was a big deal. It was on Twitter. I noticed it because Dr. Dre's engineer, Fred Reck, I follow him on Twitter. Shout out to Fred Reck. He tweeted it. I saw it come through. And, so he put me up on it, and I went and read the article. It was pretty interesting. So it was definitely cool.
I don't know how you get producer of the world.
I don't.
I need me something of the world.
I see. Okay.
Something of the world. I need something of the world right now. Complex Magazine, look. Y'all gotta give me like Black Man of the World, whatever. What?
See,
the Year of the World, whatever.
You know, alive.
How do you get that?
Alive.
How do you even get to say that someone is the best of the world?
I mean, it's a heavy title.
Man, you better. Where's the stats? Where's the numbers? Like, who'd you talk to?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. We may have to investigate who all was on this panel for voting, but
I mean, they're taking nothing away from Alchemist though, but. That's a grandiose title, bro.
It's a big accolade.
Now, whether he deserves it, we have to. I mean, what I think from what I know, he's attached to a lot of backpack rap. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, Mobb Deep isn't backpack.
Well, people don't even remember that right now.
I mean, Shook Ones. Everybody knows Shook Ones.
Not everybody.
If you can't be you can't call yourself a fan of hip hop if you don't know Shook Ones.
I mean, hey.
I'm gonna go ahead and stake that claim. I'm gonna stake that claim. If you don't know Shook Ones, get the fuck out of hip hop, bro.
All right. Sorry about that.
All good. In other news, Rihanna having a baby.
Oh shit!
Congrats to Ree.
Oh shit!
She's having a baby. Her and A$AP Rocky.
Who?
A$AP Rocky.
A$AP who?
Rocky.
Not A$AP Ferg.
No. Yeah, that's another one.
A$AP who? Ain't there like 11 of them?
I think we talked about that last week when I like A$AP Rocky. I don't know a whole bunch of the other A$AP Rocks, and I like the original A$AP Rock.
Well,
because the original.
I thought it was just A$AP.
Well, I think it's A$AP, A-E, and I don't know if
it's A-S-A-P. I'm pretty sure it's A$AP.
Oh, the original one is A-E-O-S-O-P, A-E-O-S-O-P, A$AP. Either way.
Now there's like 20 of them.
Yeah, they got a whole little crew. But back in the day, you used to get, like, you get shit on if you bit somebody's style or their name. Like, that was frowned upon in a major way. You could run off the block.
Unless it's Lil.
Right? We did decide.
Lil's cool.
There's a lot of Lils.
You could be a Lil A$AP Rocky. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. 2011 for A$AP Rocky. He was a little late to the game. A$AP Rock, I think, goes back to 98. But you did make a valid point because he's A$AP and the other one is A$AP.
Yeah.
Very similar. Very similar, though.
Who's this other dude? A$AP?
So, yeah, A$AP Rock is a white dude from...
Oh, I did not know this.
New York. And I believe he's the original with that sounding name. I guess the other one's ASAP, as soon as possible.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
But, I mean, they're very similar. I mean, I guess they're different names, but they're very similar.
A-S-O-P for A$AP Rock.
Yeah, and his career...
It's A-S-A-P for A$AP Rocky.
Okay, so ASAP for A$AP Rock, Rocky. Yeah. And then AESOP for A$AP Rock, who's the white dude from New York. And he works for Rhymesayers and goes back to 98. Bro. It is, I mean, especially if you're in a store and you send your mom out to get a record, you know what I mean? Your mom's Christmas shopping for you. She's like, I don't know which one.
Is it? Is it S01E06 or
96 to present for A$AP Rock. So he got the original kind of. So okay, so
I think they're completely unrelated.
They are completely unrelated. I would agree with that. So I saw the other day. I was watching a video and pioneer of hip hop, Melly Mel, Melle.
Melly
Mel.
Marley Marl. That's who I'm thinking.
Marley Marl.
Yeah, Melly Mel.
They all ran together.
Marley Marl and Melly Mel.
I believe so. Yeah, it was Grandmaster Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. That was Melly Mel. That was him and that whole crew. And he spells his name M-E-L-L-E, Mel, M-E-L, right? Melly Mel. And I'm sure that was like a play on his name. His name's probably Melvin or something, right? Some variation of the word Mel. And so just guessing, right? I don't know this is a fact, but I would assume his name is some origination of that. Makes sense. But he kind of holds that title, right? I mean, you can't really have another one. I mean, like, your boys can call you that, but you can't come out with that name as your moniker.
Hip hop.
But another dude.
Hip hop became remixed.
My point is another dude, and nothing against this dude, because I checked him out the other day. He had kind of a dope flow. But I was watching a YouTube video, and it was M-E-L-L-Y, M-E-L, featuring Rusty Jucks from Duck Down. And I was like, oh, cool, this is going to be dope. I never would have thought Rusty Jucks and Melly Mel was going to do a track, but that makes sense. They're both, from New York, and Rusty Jucks has got bars, and he's teaming up with a Pioneer. This is going to be dope. And I watched the video, and then I was like, did I miss Melly Mel? Where was Melly Mel? And then I realized the spelling of the name. So it was two different people. The names verbally sound the same, but there's just a difference between Melly Mel and Melly Mel in the spelling.
I don't recall a Melly Mel, dog. I really don't. I'm saying
bro,
about it.
Big as could be. Either way, if I showed you a picture of him, you'd go, oh yeah, that dude. But hip hop pioneer.
Okay.
Yeah, he was super relevant in like the late 70s, early 80s, with the whole pioneer hip hop movement, Grandmaster Flash, all that. So, it's one of those things where I don't know. It's a little insulting to me. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a tip of the cap. Maybe it's a respect thing. Maybe you're paying.
I mean, that's what hip hop has turned to. You know what I'm saying? Look at when Diddy was coming out with all the samples. When people were coming out all the samples, and the original artists were trying to say, "No, don't do that." You know what I'm saying? That's when it started to turn into a sign of respect. But then now it's just stealing. You know what I'm saying? Now it's just straight copy.
It is a weird.
But it's still a remix. You know what I'm saying? Like, then mixtapes came out and people, who was it? Drake. He had a whole song after somebody else's song. I can't even remember the name of the song. I wish I could think about it. But he had a whole song.
The title of the song was the same as somebody else?
The whole flow of the song was, he had one with YG. Like, he had a little bar in there with YG where he, same flow pattern, different words, but man, I wish I could remember that damn song. But and they say Drake be doing that, like, a lot. Taking little parts.
You think intentionally?
I mean, it has to be intentionally. You know what I'm saying? Like, you an icon in the game, you know what I'm saying? So you had to study the game. You don't know where this came from. Or you got a lawyer that's like,
hey, bro, we checked this out. Sounds like you might have a riff from somebody else's shit.
What I'm saying? They probably like, fuck it, run it.
Right.
We'll give them some money. So, I mean, the remix has turned into...
See you, fellas. Appreciate the help.
The remix has turned into it. You know what I'm saying? So, it's like respect, stealing. What is it?
It's a weird gray line, I guess, huh?
Weird.
They just weave it back and forth over the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to hear Melly Mel, the pioneer of hip hop.
Yep.
It'd be interesting to hear his take on that dude taking his name because, and again, maybe there's no disrespect. Maybe they're friends. Maybe they're homies, and I could see that easily being like if I had a son named Melvin. I would probably call him Melly Mel, you know what I mean? But that's a personal around the house thing, or maybe even with his friends or whatever, you know what I mean? Or maybe his friends call him that. But to put a patent on it,
a brand, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a whole nother. But
it's a different thing.
I mean, but that's the world we live in. You know what I'm saying? And it's today's hip hop. You know what I'm saying? People, I've had many people come to the studio and they'll spit that flow, and I'm like, man, I've heard that before. And they'll be like, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. But I did this, I did that, I did this.
Huh.
I mean, that beat makes no difference than when people made beats and they was like taking sample blocks that was already made by somebody else and they put them together like Legos and what they like. Hey, I made a beat.
Right. Yeah, you might be able to get by doing that when you're first learning.
Man, but that was 15 years ago.
Right. Yeah, you got to grow from that, homie. You can't be out there.
Nah, they have grown. They'll take your whole shit.
They'll take your name.
Everything.
They'll take your name.
Everything. Who's your name? I'm Johnny Cash. Hey, no disrespect. Get your money. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? If I come up with a candy bar and I'm going to say, what is this called? It's called Snickers. What is that? You know?
It's caramel peanuts and chocolate.
You know what I'm saying?
I love it. That's
almonds,
my favorite.
Almonds.
Oh, yeah.
Almonds. And it's not nougat, it's fluget.
Oh.
I like nougat. I just put a little extra shit in it. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
I like a little flavor in mine, so I call it fluget.
No, that's what they doing. I mean, is it inspiration or is it copycat?
Right.
I mean,
do they do that in other genres of music, you think? I mean, people was kind of saying Bruno Mars was doing that for a little bit, right? Because he was.
Whoa. Well, who? With what though? With the soul shit?
Yeah. Because he had a lot of things that maybe imitated or whatever. And nothing against Bruno Mars, fantastic artist, right? He's huge, and I love his music. But I was making a comparison. Does anybody else? Do country artists do that? But then I think people did kind of make that claim about Bruno when he first came out, like he's kind of taking old soul hits and reinventing them and putting a new spin on it.
Yeah, he is, you know, but they also have the same claim. It's like in music, you only have 7 notes in the key. You know what I'm saying? So can you copyright a whole key? You know what I'm saying? And then when you play those chords, there's only so many ways you can play them. You know what I'm saying? So can you copyright that? Even with Vanilla Ice, you know what I'm saying? Like it went doom 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 doom.
The Under Pressure.
But the other one went doom 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 doom. One note.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, that's mine. No, you stole it. That's mine.
Then Suge Knight got a motherfucker by the ankles.
You know what I'm saying? And
that's a whole different way to break your pockets.
But that's business, and that's been business since ever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, is it messed up part of hip-hop, or is it the new hip-hop? I don't know, but...
Well, that was old, right? That was like the 90s when Vanilla Ice was coming out and Under Pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's not even new hip hop. That's old. I mean, shit.
I mean, but it was one of the first. I remember one of the first.
A big instance of it.
Yeah, of copyright infringement type shit.
Sure.
That people brought to the forefront. I was like, oh, that is that.
Okay, so now let's pivot. Does country have that? Or I guess I don't know.
Oh,
do we know?
Hell yeah, country got that. Hell yeah, country got that. Country has taken bluegrass, it's taken folk, it's taken all that. Like, there's a documentary on Explained where they talk about how country and hip hop has morphed into the same thing. I seen a song with a dude named Morgan Wallen. And
yeah.
Who?
That was him and Lil Durk. It's been on the Billboard hit charts for, I don't know, 5 weeks in a row, 6 weeks in a row.
Yeah, it's right there. I mean, it's all been morphing into one thing.
Well, yeah, and some of the pioneers of that. I mean, Bubba Sparks was probably the pioneer of that. Nobody was doing country hip hop before him and Timberland.
I'm gonna think on that before I say anything.
I think
I'm gonna give Bubba Sparks his respect. You know what I'm saying? Because I liked him when he came out, but I know there was somebody doing that before him. I know for a fact. I just can't. I can't put it down like that. But there's someone doing that way before him.
All right, drop it in the comments. Let us know.
I ain't gonna say that, but I guarantee you it was someone not Bubba Sparks.
I'm pretty sure Bubba holds a claim on it.
I put money on it. It was a artist of color. I'm trying to tell you, most of the blends always came through a black artist, and then
Timberland's black.
I mean, but I'm talking about way back when the blending of the music really started. You know what I'm saying? Like, and got accepted. Like Elvis ain't nothing but Chuck Berry.
Oh yeah, well, and a lot of people said that, right?
Yeah, but did Chuck Berry get any money?
Yeah,
we got who's coming back to sue Nas for money he didn't get 17 years ago?
P Rock.
What they try to do when
They said Pete
Chuck
Rock?
Berry tried to go back and get? I mean, I can't remember, but I know Chuck Berry tried to go back and say that that's me, and they was like, no.
Well, yeah, and I mean, times were a lot different back then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Not
probably.
really, motherfuckers is still stealing.
Oh no, I meant in times
They still
like
stealing.
in times of in terms of how far we've come as a humanity.
But they still stealing.
Oh yeah, I mean people go steal to the end of time.
They just changed the laws around it.
Right.
So I mean, hey, shout out to everybody getting money off the music. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, on a lighter note, Papoose dropped some new shit. I'm a huge fan of Papoose. I remember him from way back when him and K Slay came out in like 98 when he came out with that out.
Like
So he came out. I want to say it dropped on one of those Smack DVDs. Smack was before Smack was URL TV because that's what URL TV, the Battle League, is now.
Yeah.
It started off as Smack DVD, and Smack was going around with cameras, and they were doing basically like hood DVDs and filming music videos. And the only way you could get them was by buying these DVDs. It was like an underground mixtape, but it was a video DVD. Then they went to Blu-ray, and it was pretty well put together. I got several of them in a box somewhere.
Man, that's a blast.
I was a huge fan of them. This was early 2000s. And they would show up at, they would get invited into studios and they'd be in there for recording sessions when people were laying down unreleased music and dropping verses and writing music and whatnot. And as it grew, they got more credibility and they got with bigger stars. And anyways, my point to that was I think that Alphabet Slaughter that K Slay and Papoose put together, which was a ton of alliteration. So for anybody that don't know, alliteration is a literary term where everything starts with like the letter A. Like all the words will start with A, and then the next word will be all B, 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 B. And the next words will be all C, 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 C. Oh, it's sick. It's next level. So it's called alliteration. And he'll be like, Tech Nine does it quite a bit. He'll use that, but it'll be like Andy's Animals and an alphabet. You know what I mean? Like, but obviously it makes it's way more cohesive and an intellectual sentence. And I just kind of threw some shit together. But it's a stream of words that flow and come together, and everything starts with the same letter.
When was this?
So he originally came out on a Cool G record in like, I want to say 98, but I think that other record, Cool G Rap, was the first one in like 1998. But then I think the Alphabet Slaughter record with him and K Slay was like 2000, 2001, if I'm remembering correctly. And that came out on like Smack DVD. And that, I believe it came out on Smack DVD. And Smack DVD transformed into URL TV right now. It's a big, huge battle league.
Okay.
But back then, Smack DVD was like basically the hood DVDs where Smack would go around and he would film interviews with artists and put together music videos. And the only way you could get them was like a mixtape. You had to get these DVDs that had, you buy them online and you got them shipped to you or whatever, and they were like $30 a piece.
This that mixtape.
It was essentially a video mixtape, DVD mixtape. Before YouTube. This was before YouTube had really kicked off and taken over videos. And so there was that dead space where like MTV had gone away and nobody had filled that void. And so they were doing, he basically filled that void for a little bit. He capitalized on it. And they did a bunch of shit with Paul Wall, and they had T.I. on an episode. I think I have one that has Eminem on it where he was in the studio with Eminem.
See, I vaguely remember Smack.
Yeah.
Vaguely. But I know it has some significance, but I don't. Papoose, I thought he was a spitter, right? Freestyler.
I mean, I'm sure he could definitely freestyle, but I think these were all studio records.
Okay.
And K Slay, DJ K Slay out of New York was kind of one of the dudes that he worked with a lot. I don't know. I don't want to say that he necessarily broke his career, but they teamed up and
New York dudes.
They were supporting each other and whatnot. And I think I think originally he got signed to Jive for like $1 million or whatever. He got a deal, and I want to say that they kept pushing back the record, and it ended up just getting shelved, and it never came out. But he just dropped some new shit. Not to fast forward too fast, because he's also so he just dropped some new shit, and I hadn't heard a record from him in some years, and was like, damn, Papoose is back. Like he's dropped a couple records consistently in the last handful of months, and I just like it was dope to hear him back spitting, you know what I mean, and bringing that.
I'm totally thinking of somebody. Oh, I'm thinking of Meek Mill.
Okay, yeah,
That's
Meek.
who I'm thinking
So
of.
Meek came up on those Meek, Murder Mook. A lot of those dudes all came up on Smack DVD.
Yeah,
They used to battle on it. They were freestylers.
Right,
So that was another section of the Smack DVD before the battle leagues were real big online, because now the two big battle leagues are KOTD, which is King of the Dot, and that's A Ward and all of those dudes, and King of the Dot is out of Canada, and then there's and then there's URL TV, and then there's a whole different onslaught of guys coming out of there. And matter of fact, just because we're talking about it, shout out to my guy Marv One, because he's on KOTD, and Marv One is a spitter from Detroit.
Straight hot verse, man. I love mixing it.
Yeah,
Sounds
so
good,
you can check out the homie Marv One on KOTD. He was there supporting A Ward at the last battle, and it was dope to just see that, because that kind of brings it full circle, because we fuck with A Ward on the first record with Mickey Fax, and now we got the new record coming out with Marv One, and it's dope to see all that, because we be fucking with the spitters, you know what I mean?
When I was listening to his verse the other day, he said a line. I wish I could remember.
I'm happy you can't remember. We ain't letting them hear that. They gotta wait you gotta wait to hear the record.
Glad I forgot.
We're about to pioneer that shit. We're gonna finish the record tonight. That's what RJ just said. He said we're gonna finish the record tonight, and we're gonna finish getting it mixed and mastered, and then in 30 days from today, March 3rd, y'all can catch March 3rd, y'all catch the record. It's going live. It's going to be called It's Detroit with yours truly. It's your boy Wilson. It's going to have Marv One, Ty Ferris, and Fat Father all out of Detroit. And we're going out there to film the music video in March. So stay on the lookout for that. But back to my dude Papoose. Papoose just dropped some new heat. Fire. The video's got Papoose, Lil Wayne, Remy Ma, and Busta Rhymes, and they're all spitting crazy bars. The visuals in the video are next level. It's dope as hell.
Remy Ma.
Yeah, she goes way back, right? She used to fuck with. Okay, so this brings it even more full circle. You know Remy Ma's clique? You know who she used to rap with?
I know, but I can't tell you the name.
Pace One.
It
was.
no,
Was it? It was Remy Ma, Pace One. I think they're all out of New Jersey, New York, New Jersey.
I don't remember that.
I think
She
yeah.
New York, I know that.
Yeah, Pace One's New Jersey, and I think they were all in the Outsiders together.
Okay.
Young Z,
New info.
Remy Ma, Pace One. They were all in that was that clique, the Outsiders.
She had to be young.
And actually, Eminem was part of that clique for a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, he did a handful of songs with him when he was coming up.
Remy Ma had to been like 14 or something, like hella young. Because she came out young though.
Yeah. Well, and then she had to go sit down for a minute.
Yeah.
She caught that rap in 2008. She caught that charge and she got 8 years. I don't know whether she had to do the whole 8.
Yeah, I don't know,
but she had to go sit down for.
She did some shit.
She caught a assault charge, possession of a weapon, coercion, and something else, and she had to go sit down. They gave her 8 years. They were trying to give her 25, and then they were talking 17. And basically in the article that I read recently, and then I think her lawyer was able to work it out to 8.
That's called good lawyer.
Yeah, but while she was in doing her thing, had to go sit down. Papoose and her got married.
But up in the.
I think they just did it. I think maybe they had a justice of the peace or whatever. And they just did it.
Why? Cause what? Get some time off or something, or was they like really doing some shit?
Oh no, I think that they was
say, hey boo, I'm about to marry you.
No, man, I think they had they had been dating or whatever prior to that, and then when she caught the case, I mean, yeah,
I thought she was lesbian. I thought she was a lesbian, right?
You know, I couldn't speak on that.
I'm thinking of Young Ma.
Oh, yup. Yeah, and she's quite a bit younger. She's the new.
That's
yeah.
what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Not Remy. Okay.
Yeah, Remy Ma goes.
Okay.
She goes back to. Yup. Easy mix up. Remy Ma, Young Ma, ASAP Rock, ASAP Ferg.
Lil Ma.
But
ASAP Ma.
but
No.
yeah, nah, it was kind of a cool thing to see him come back on the
But that's
scene
what's up.
in a major way. And I mean, to put me up on game, because I was like, oh, so that I was like, oh, who is this chick rapping? And then I was like, oh, I looked at the credits. It said it was Remy Ma. And I'm like, oh, well, I ain't heard from her in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was looking at Papoose's information on his Wikipedia, I was like, oh shit, he married Remy Ma. And that makes sense that now it's all coming full circle and they're all coming back
they're together,
and they're working on
that's
working on
what's
music
up.
together, a couple dope ass artists. And you know, they got, I know Papoose has 3 kids. I don't know that any of them are with him. I think 2 of them were from a previous marriage. But they may have 1 kid together. But either way, dope. Shout outs to them. Respect. You know, they got a beautiful thing going. And it's dope to see bar spitters back on. You and I were talking about Wayne the other day. You know, Wayne is one of them dudes that I was feeling in the beginning, and then he had a long gap there in the middle. I wasn't, like, people were calling him the best rapper alive. It might have been even self-proclaimed, and I wasn't really feeling that title. I didn't have a big issue with Wayne, but I wasn't riding on that when everybody else thought he was untouchable.
The greatest
Right,
rapper.
right.
Like,
I wasn't really feeling it, but to pay credit where credit's due, I heard him on that new Tech 9 record, and
dope.
oh,
I mean, he
bro,
dope. He
bro,
dope.
his metaphors
He
are on
dope,
point.
But when he hit a level there when he was just saying anything.
Right.
I mean anything.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what I'm
and
saying?
he was so leaned out. I mean, I would have. I mean,
Everybody listening
by
was
his
so leaned
own.
out, though.
Yeah, by his own. What you want to call it? Statements. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I ain't saying that because I was sitting on the bus with him, but you know, he was double cupped up. But
He even said that too. If I got a double cup, it means I'm in a purple stuff.
yeah. Yo.
Funny how I remember that line, huh? That's stupid.
But yeah, hey, shout out to Wayne. You know, he brought it back around. Matter of fact, he rocked the last sound set that I saw. We talked about sound set before up in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Wayne was the last headliner for sound set that I saw up there.
And I ain't hating on Wayne, you know what I'm saying? But there is a moment there when, and it's that whole mixtape era. I dipped out on the mixtape
Right.
era, you know what I'm saying? I went and sang my heart out.
Yeah.
That mixtape era, man, like, there's a lot of good that went on there, but there's a lot of bullshit that went on there. And
What?
I think I tapped out of hip hop during that time, you know?
It was kind of a weird thing for mixtapes to reemerge because in the early days you get a record or a tape or whatever and it had the album version and then you'd have the instrumental on the next side, and so that's how artists that didn't have a producer would come out, right? They would grab that instrumental and they come out and they drop a verse, you know, and try and come up on it, and then so mixtapes.
I mean, something like that.
Mixtapes were a lot of people using the let me ride beat or you know, the Southern Playalistic Cadillac funky music beat or whatever it was in that era, you know what I mean? Because anytime you got a record or a cassette, you would end up with a couple of instrumentals.
I think, man, mixtapes. I remember DJ Fraj. I don't know if you remember DJ Fraj, right? Homegrown, straight from here. This is back when I was like 14.
Yes, that was before my time.
I mean, but mixtapes were
Before
about
my time in Des Moines. I was still
mean,
around.
I think, but it was more about getting that beat and putting another something to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, not so much being original, but DJ Fraj, shout out to DJ Fraj, because that brother put out more mixtapes than I know of any DJ back in the day. And he would just get an instrumental, get an acapella, and I think that's what you're referring to, is because you would get that vinyl, and it would have the single on one and the instrumental on one, coupled by the acapella.
100%.
And that's how I remember mixtapes. You know what I'm saying? They was taking this beat from this song, this acapella from this song, and dumping it down, and then maybe bringing in an artist to feature.
Or even an up-and-coming artist. Because
Yeah.
you didn't have a producer, you could come out
Exactly.
and you could go, I got a hot 16, I'm going to wreck that.
Check out this artist.
I'm gonna wreck this Let Me Ride beat. And an up-and-coming artist could be able to put himself on a stage with a dope-ass beat because he could kind of ride on that.
So my mixtape wasn't about this spitting whatever you got to say to a beat. It was about actually being featured in a collage of work. You know what I'm saying? So
Sure.
Kind of took a change for me, but
Yeah. Well, and now they've gone away, I think, essentially altogether. Like,
are they all the way gone?
I think so. There was an era there where the record labels and I want to say the FBI were like shutting down street corner hustlers for piracy.
Oh,
because like 50 Cent, when he first came out, what was that? 2000 and...
Well, How to Rob, that's what I remember. That was it.
Yeah.
And
what was that, 2010?
I don't remember at all. I think it was way before that. How to Rob? I think it was way before that, dog.
Well, he had a whole slew of mixtapes that 50 dropped,
Yeah.
and then G-Unit dropped before they got signed to Aftermath with Dre and M.
Yep.
That's how they discovered him. They were like, who the fuck is this guy? And I bring that up because I'm saying that mixtapes did a lot back then. You know what I mean? But not only that, yeah, I mean, that was how artists were breaking their music out, and the radio stations weren't necessarily, Clear Channel was controlling a lot of shit, and you weren't able to get your name out on the radio, and maybe you had bad blood with a DJ or whatever, and so you just couldn't get on the radio.
Hey, that shit'll kill you.
And so, yeah, the way artists were getting their music out was mixtapes, and so they were pushing their own little mixtapes. But then I think labels got wind of the fact that people were making money off of some of these beats.
Oh, yeah, and they came after.
And so they went after them for piracy, and I think they shut down a lot of the, because I remember there was a long minute where people were, Kofi's trying to call me, there was a long minute where people were, you could go to Hip Hop Heaven, and they had all the mixtapes and stuff. I remember my brother come out here to visit, and he would be like, oh, bro, you know what I mean? I was up in there talking to Jay Shade. And he was working at Hip Hop Heaven, and they had, the cabinet with all the mixtapes, and you could see all the up and coming mixtapes, and it was, it was dope to, the album art and everything. It was like a real record. You know what I mean?
Lyrics in the inside.
Yeah, it was cool. It was dope. But again, that's a time in hip hop that's gone. But now, these MCs can just break a record and just drop it on. They can be their own VJ, and they can shoot their own visuals and drop it on. They can drop it right to YouTube, or make a still image video and drop it right to YouTube.
Right there, bland.
Yeah,
and control their own thing.
Exactly. So that's pretty dope. Last couple things we was gonna talk about. So last time we was talking, the Versus things come up a couple times. I've still yet to see one. That's my homework. I'm gonna get out there. I'm gonna watch it.
Check them out.
I'm gonna watch. Matter of fact, when we get off, while we're mixing this next record, I might try and pull up a Versus just so I can find one online and peep it out a little bit and see what they're all about. Shout out to Timberland and Swiss. Apparently, they're the pioneers that kicked this off and put it together. At one point, I think there was a mention of Ice Cube, but Ice Cube, I believe, said it wasn't on his bucket list. He wasn't interested, so he was not actually affiliated with the Versus thing. It was all Timberland and Swiss Beats, yeah. But so Dre put out his Instagram post, and he was talking about Eminem versus who, and basically saying, who could take down a giant like Eminem.
Only a giant,
and rightfully so, right? I mean, somebody's got to do it. So that IG post got, I think, 2.5, 3 million views.
Did it?
Yeah, it was huge.
I knew that shit was gonna pop. I knew it was.
And a lot of people were in the comments. You know what I mean? I think T.I. was like, "I do it." You know what I mean? I think they look at it as a sparring. It's not an insulting thing, but you know what I mean? It's like
friendly.
Right,
battle, you know what
right.
I'm
You know what I
friendly
mean?
duel.
Exactly. Let's sharpen our skills a little bit together. You know what I mean? Let's have some fun. But I don't think it's like an insulting thing. But Timberland commented in there with the eyes, like the eyes looking over here, like
I'm watching.
Yeah. Let me see where this goes. Yeah, that's the Michael Jackson with the popcorn. And so it was kind of a hot thread. You know what I mean? Dre's posts are seldom, but they definitely attract attention, especially when he's talking about Marshall. So it was interesting to see that and see people's takes on it and whatnot. And I haven't checked back on the comments recently, but it would be interesting to see where that goes. But I've seen some people have commented. At one point, somebody offered up Busta Rhymes and was like,
"Told you,
Busta Rhymes." But I think Little John also offered up Busta Rhymes when they were talking about who could take out Jay-Z. Matter of fact, I'm almost 100% certain that Little John was the one that offered that up in a Jay-Z versus Busta Rhymes battle.
I like Busta in all of them.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Busta. I've always been, ever since that woo-ha, got you all in check. I mean, that really sold it for me. His first independent record. He was a dope artist in Leaders of the New School, but I think I really honed in on him when he dropped his solo project, and it sold it to me, and I loved it. You know what I mean? I was a fan, and as he's grown and expanded with his music, and changed himself. I mean, he was a skinny little dude, not talking trash by any means, but he was. If you put a side by side up. Well, maybe we even do that. Maybe we'll shrink us down right now. And we'll throw a side by side up right over here in the corner.
Man,
but
I got a song in my head, bro. Keep going.
If you put a 19, when did Higher Learning come out?
Oh shit.
He was tiny in Higher Learning.
I don't remember how old I am. Shit.
If you put Busta Rhymes from Higher Learning next to Busta Rhymes now,
Big difference.
he's probably got 100 pounds on himself. He's fucking jacked, yoked. Well, and even compared to, like I said on a podcast previously.
Do,
What's that?
That's what success do.
Yeah, well, but it can go the other way, right? You can get lazy.
Yeah.
You can get fat.
For real, yeah.
And I definitely not saying Busta's fat because he's a legend and he
got thick there though for a minute.
I was gonna say I believe he said that himself, and it popped up on a couple different posts that he was gonna do a body transformation thing, and he did. You know what I mean? The dude got yoked out, and he's back at it. And it would be interesting to see. So back to Busta. A lot of people have thrown him out there. Apparently, the leader of the Bay Area, E40 himself, E40 Fonzarelli. We had an interview I did with him. DJ Papa Cal actually did an interview with him when he was out on the road with Tech 9. We did it on EmceeTV, and 40 was cool, super cool. Yeah, that was an experience to be able to interview somebody like him. But getting back to my point, 40 said, when speaking on Busta Rhymes, I got to read this directly. He said, I want to mess up the quote, you know what I mean? E40 on Eminem versus Busta Rhymes. 40 said, with his style of rap, I really feel like the person that nobody want to see in a versus battle, referring to Eminem. I'm going to keep, that was a side note, referring to Eminem. I'm going to keep it one thou wow, and I love Eminem. I love this guy to the fullest, and his talent speaks for himself. Busta Rhymes would eat Eminem in a versus battle, E40 said.
I agree.
So, I
agree.
I'm a huge fan of both. I'd have to see it. I'd have to see it to see exactly what the parameters are, because I think we're still speaking in vague. You've seen one or two maybe. I'm still speaking in vague parameters. I don't know. It's not like they're actually battling each other, right? I mean, they battle career stats.
It's your hits. I mean, this over career wise, man. Busta he's had more songs that have went international for one. I mean, think Walk Them Gundam style. I was in Okinawa, Japan, in the Marine Corps, and they was bumping Busta Rhymes. And this is a good, at least 5 years before Eminem was even around. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
A whole bunch of years before he was even around. So, when you look at the catalog, I just think Busta Rhymes, when it comes to the artistry of being a hip-hop artist, a rapper, he's too dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Not taking nothing away from M.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But M created a lane. You know what I'm saying? And people jumped on that lane. No one has mimicked, copied anything Busta does at all. Name one person who has come out trying to be Busta Rhymes. Name 1 or 10 people who have come out trying to be Marshall Mathers. Well, usually when you think about it like that,
that's a valid point. I'll give you that 100%. Although, everybody that's white that comes out as a rapper gets compared to Eminem, so that's a tough one to.
That's his lane. That's the lane he chose. You know what I'm saying?
Well, being a white rapper isn't just a lane.
Yeah,
I mean, it's part of a lane, but you can have different avenues.
I mean, but in hip hop, they put you where they want you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, you don't necessarily get to be where you want to be.
But it was easy for M to be put there. You can't put Busta there. You can't. I mean,
Well, I think that takes a little something away from Eminem to say it was easy for him to get to his lane.
I'm sorry, being a white rapper, that's where you get put.
I think the dude had to put in hella work to get there.
I mean, he did. And 8 Mile, I think, showed he's more than just a white rapper, that he's actually hip-hop artist that comes from a different culture getting into it.
Valid.
But when it comes to a recording artist...
Oh, yeah. And again, I don't know what the criteria...
But that's what the Versus is about.
I don't know what the criteria is.
It's a recording artist. You know, and that's what you're doing at that Versus. You know what I'm saying? You're putting what you have as a recording artist up against what you did as a recording artist.
Right.
You know, and hands down, I think Busta will eat him.
You know what? I would tune in for that motherfucker.
I would tune in too, dog.
If that's a pay-per-view and I got to put a 20 spot on it,
I'm on my next 20.
God
yeah.
damn.
I'm on my next 20, dog.
All right. I got to put 40 on it then because I got 20 and
We want to double up.
20 over here to my mans. Yeah, it'd be well worth it. Speaking of that, I think somebody said, I mean, there's rumors M's dropping a new record this week. There's rumors Kendrick's dropping a new record this week. Well, is it this week?
I like Kendrick.
You know, I liked his first record. His first record was dope. The second one, I'm not quite sold on. But I think he's talented as fuck. He's a dope artist.
He's grown on me a lot.
And he's got 3 out, doesn't he?
I don't even know.
I think he's got 3 out. The first one was dope. That was To Pimp a Butterfly.
I don't even know.
The first one was dope. Second one, it was a little repetitive. Well, the cuts that I heard seemed a little.
Which one? There's the DNA one or what?
What's the one? I'm gonna catch some flack for this one. And he's dope as fuck. Like he's a dope artist. But just the joints that I heard, man, I can't think of it. It's like Damn It, Man. Damn It.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, I can't think of what it is off top. It's been a minute since I heard it. It's an older track, but I think it was on his second album. I feel like he has a third one out. Either way, Kendrick's supposed to be dropping some new music. Super talented artist.
Can't wait to hear it.
I heard Rihanna's dropping new music in 2022.
Pregnant girl, yeah.
She's pregnant, dropping babies, dropping new music.
Dropping tracks.
All sorts of new stuff coming out. So shout out to Ree, shout out to Kendrick. Yeah, and I think with why wouldn't you drop a new record if you're going to be on the Super Bowl? And, I mean, that's a prime. All the attention's on you, right? That's
like I said, marketing 101 for today's generation.
Everybody's looking. You come out, you drop something, and then as you walk off stage, pick up my new record on Friday. I think they said the last conference game, again, I don't follow sports a whole bunch, but I think they said the last conference games were 2 of the highest watched football games maybe in recent years or possibly ever. Something. I mean, they reached some crazy Nielsen SoundScan levels. It was like 17 million people were watching the last Chiefs and Bengals game and the
okay, that makes sense.
Rams and Niners game.
Because people was like, "Did you see that game?" I'm like, "No."
Those were some dope games. I don't really watch a whole bunch of football, but the bar had cleared out, and I was just cleaning, and I was able to post up and watch it a little bit, and they were both dope games. Really? I was pulling for the Chiefs a little bit. A lot of my homies are Chiefs fans. It's kind of the regional team. I don't really know much about the Bengals. Really, the only thing I know about Cincinnati is Scribble Jam, and that's my hip hop shit. Yeah. But you know, the Chiefs is kind of the regional team. That's the only NFL game I've ever been to. So I had, and the Mahomes story is a great story. So I had to lean that way. You know, he's does a lot for the community. He's a dope kid.
That's what's up.
And so I was leaning that way, and I didn't really have a fan favorite in the Niners or the Rams game. Although my homie Rich Brown, shout out to Rich. Rich is a big Niners fan, so I was kind of leaning that way. And, well, Garoppolo's a cool story too, right? Like that's
he does have a good story.
Yeah, he's another cool quarterback that had a good hard. You know, I mean, I feel like the linemen don't really get much love. I don't know shit about the linemen.
They get
but,
paid.
Right?
That's what they do.
They
you
block.
Know what I'm saying?
They block and they get
their
paid.
Job, you know what I'm saying?
But you know more about the quarterbacks. It's like, oh, yeah, Garoppolo's this kid's got a nice story. And Mahomes, he's got a nice story. I'll be honest, those are probably the only 2 quarterbacks I know, too. So
I mean, like Prince. Prince had a drummer. You can't tell me his drummer's
Right.
name, but you know who Prince is. It's the same shit.
that's a valid point. Yeah, I couldn't name a single person.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sheila E.
Yeah. Nope.
Damn. Ooh, he don't know who Sheila E is.
Yeah.
We're gonna give him some lessons, y'all.
Put me up on game. All right, y'all. We got to get back to mixing this record because
yes, we do.
We ain't got much time left. And RJ's on the clock, putting the pressure on.
Man.
So coming soon. It's your boy, that motherfucker Steve,
And your boy RJ.
and it's EmceeTV, and we out.
Yakums.
East to west. Brand Thomas. Yuck mouth. Spice one. Look. Every 16 I pen in his pad, comparable to Maryland heroin bags. See, this the repercussion of them delicate raps. You selling these cats, y'all pop chains from peddling fast. We've been known to snatch a piece or two. Y'all can't take over cause we gon' eat the you. Rock steady like a ginger brought Aretha through. This shit torture and I'ma keep feeding you. On that East Coast shit, y'all better duck down. Price on his dome, 5 on it like yuck mouth. When the plug get knocked, that's when the price jump. American Nightmare, that's where the Spice one. Rappers running like Ricky in the alleyway, putting an end to the week, no Saturday. They want static, get it shaking like Cassius Clay. Passionate thugs mixing Douce with Alizé.
Don't play with us, them goons ain't got you safe enough. Yelling fuck them like Smokey off the angel dust. My life's so real, sounds like I made it up. Been up so long, I don't remember waking up. Dangerous, sharper than a razor's touch. We hit that strip and get the cake in the